Good evening and welcome to Kini News. Many were expecting the government to announce some sort of Movement Control Order 2.0 or MCO today. However, that didn't happen. Instead, the Prime Minister is set to make an announcement on stricter COVID-19 standard operating procedures come Monday.
Malaysia set another record today with the highest number of COVID-19 related deaths recorded in a single day since the pandemic started last year. 16 deaths were reported, bringing the total death toll to 537. The Health Ministry also reported 2,643 new COVID-19 cases in the past 24 hours. On the brighter side, 2,708 people recovered from COVID-19 today and have been discharged. Selangor reported the highest number of cases in any state with 1,086, followed by Sabah with 401. Johor reported 298 new cases. Meanwhile, the government is still deliberating on stricter standard operating procedures to curb the spread of COVID-19 as the pandemic worsens. Defence Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob said Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin will be making an announcement on the matter on Monday. Ismail said the government, through a National Security Council special session, is still fine-tuning and evaluating actions that need to be taken. He added this includes considering stricter SOPs to be implemented, especially in the social sectors to reduce movement and the spread of the virus.
As tensions have been heating up between Amno and Bersatu, PAS is hoping that they will come together once again when the dust settles.
PAS President Abdul Hadi Awang has called for Barisan Nasional to be strengthened amid pressure from Amno's grassroots for the party to sever ties with Bersatu ahead of the 15th general election. Hadi said he was confident that Amno would make the right decision.
Kita nak kukuhkan lagi. Dan Amno belum membuat keputusan muktamad. Dia tak boleh melalui bahagian-bahagian ahli biasa. Mesti melalui ada majlis tertinggi dia, ada biro politik dia dan ada Perhimpunan Agung dia. Kami tak mau campur. Akan diurus dengan baik insya-Allah. Ya.
Meanwhile, Bersatu urged all parties to show sincerity and express their commitment through strong organizational discipline to ensure the PN Pact will be respected and will last. The decision was reached at a Bersatu Supreme Council meeting at its headquarters in Petaling Jaya on Wednesday, chaired by Party President and Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin. Amno is in the government along with its BN components, but it remains out of the PN coalition. Amno is also in a separate pact with PAS, the Muafakat Nasional, which is a cooperation agreement reached as the two largest opposition parties during the previous Harapan administration. Commenting on a separate matter, Hadi advised anti-vaxxers to consult medical experts on the COVID-19 vaccine and not BOMOS, Malaysia Man. He also stressed that Islam requires diseases to be fought by any means necessary in an emergency.
Kerana keadaan darurat, kita boleh rodok berpakar menggunakan dengan kadar yang berpatutan. Ya. Orang yang bercakap tu dia ahli bidang tu tidak. Jangan kalau nak tanya tentang vaksin, tanya ahli perubatan ya. Jangan tanya Tok Bomo.
Ahmad Maslan, who recently explained why Amno grassroots members are not happy with Bersatu, has been told to stop talking on behalf of his party.
Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Khairy Jamaluddin has urged Amno Secretary General Ahmad Maslan not to claim that the party was upset with the PN Plus government over several court cases. Taking to Instagram, Khairy suggested that Ahmad's position does not represent Amno. In one post, Khairy also showed a news report on Ahmad's statement with the caption Goreng Pisang. He then included a snippet of Ahmad's statement made on a live show aired on Media Amno Malaysia's Facebook page on Monday.
Satu lagi ketidakpuashatian ialah bukan kerana jawatan sangat, tapi kerana kerajaan yang ada sekarang ini meneruskan kezaliman kerajaan dulu. Ini tidak wajar dibuat. Ya.
Saya bagi contoh.
Kes-kes yang dibawa ke mahkamah, dia orang kata kluster mahkamah dan sebagainya ini. Kes-kes yang dibawa mahkamah ini ialah kes kezaliman zaman Mahathir, zaman Tommy Thomas, zaman Latif Prakoya. Tun Mahathir dah tak ada dalam kerajaan. Tommy Thomas tak tahu bagaimana dah sekarang. Latif Prakoya pun saya tak tahu ke mana dah. Tetapi kenapa kes yang mereka bawa itu masih diteruskan?
There is currently tension between those loyal to party president Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, who is also facing corruption trials, and the Bersatu leadership, which leads the PN Plus government.
With COVID-19 vaccinations just months away from some Malaysians, some have expressed concerns over its safety. But are these concerns justified? Let's take a look.
The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Malaysia has been ballooning since October, and we have been recording over 2,000 new cases daily, consecutively for days. Although hope appears to be on the horizon, with a vaccine to be available as soon as the end of the next month. A survey conducted earlier by the Ministry of Health revealed that a shocking 33% of Malaysians are either uncertain or unwilling to take the vaccine. Is the vaccine safe? What are your concerns? Trust it or doubt it? Today, we speak to Azrul Muhammad, the Chief Executive of Galen Centre for Health and Social Policy Malaysia, to get his expert opinion on the matter.
Now, if anyone were made to be guinea pigs or test subjects for the development of these vaccines, it would actually be the thousands of volunteers who agreed to participate in the earlier clinical trials, particularly for phase 3. So for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, which had around 44,000 participants, the AstraZeneca-Oxford trials had around 23,000 individuals, and there's been hundreds of thousands of people who were administered with the Sinopharm vaccine candidate before he had actually completed the late stage trial. So when we consider also the fact that there's, as of 31st December, more than 3 million doses of the vaccine have actually gone shots to arms in the United States. From the standpoint of the science involved, mRNA vaccines are arguably safer than most, and it only involves fragments of RNA, which instructs our cells to make copies of a specific component of the virus, in this case, the spike protein. So the RNA fragments, I have to emphasize here, cannot and do not cause COVID-19. Once the spike proteins are made, the RNA fragments are broken down and eliminated. It does not merge with your DNA. It does not cause you to be a mutant or be an X-Men. mRNA vaccines have actually been studied for years for flu, Zika, rabies, and cytomegalovirus. This is building on what we already know, or what the pharmaceutical companies, the scientists, the universities already know about the mRNA model, which has allowed for vaccine development to move faster than the traditional methods of making vaccines. I think, we should trust in the science, we should trust in the data, we should trust in the mandate that's been given to our regulators, and most importantly, not to put more faith in WhatsApp messages and conspiracy theory videos and, these different allegations that, if we look at it, really come from anti-vaxxers who are exploiting the situation today to promote their agenda and causing there to be more hesitancy in vaccinations in general. We recognize that today the government is experiencing a trust deficit with the people, where there appears to be some form of double standards that have been put into place. And we hear every day during the press conference how many people who are being arrested, or are being fined for SOP-related offenses. Yet, at the same time, we do not see enough adherence or even respect for those very same SOPs amongst the leaders of this country, which include members of government, civil servants, politicians. In order for any vaccination effort to succeed, the public, the people, must trust that this is the right thing to do in this public health emergency.
Coming up next, US President Donald Trump faces calls for a removal and a possible impeachment after the chaos at the US Capitol. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. As the threat of a second impeachment looms, President Donald Trump acknowledged on Thursday that Joe Biden will be the next US president.
I believe the president is dangerous and should not hold office one day longer.
Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi called for President Donald Trump to be removed from office on Thursday.
This man is deadly to our democracy and to our people.
The calls for Trump's removal came one day after his supporters stormed and vandalized the U.S. Capitol, for which the House Speaker said the president was to blame.
In calling for this seditious act, the president has committed an unspeakable assault on our nation and our people. I join the Senate Democratic leader in calling on the Vice President to remove this president by immediately invoking the 25th Amendment. If the Vice President and Cabinet do not act, the Congress may be prepared to move forward with impeachment.
After Wednesday's mayhem, dozens of Democrats and at least 2 Republicans, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan and Illinois Representative Adam Kinzinger, have called for removing Trump either through impeachment or the 25th Amendment. Several Republican sources have told Reuters that the 25th Amendment effort was unlikely to go anywhere.
I'm telling you, as a Republican, I don't support an effort to invoke the 25th Amendment now. If something else happens, all options would be on the table. But I hear from Schumer and Pelosi just political talk.
Still, Senator Lindsey Graham and many of Trump's other fellow Republicans called Wednesday's harrowing assault on democracy a deep stain on his legacy.
It was a self-inflicted wound. It was going too far.
Breaking his silence on the Capitol building siege, Trump posted a video on Twitter late on Thursday after his suspension on the platform was lifted, calling it a heinous attack, and acknowledged that Joe Biden would be the next president but didn't mention him by name.
A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation.
The change in tone was seen by some as an attempt to forestall a wave of resignations following the Capitol building chaos. U.S. Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, the wife of Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, on Thursday became the first Trump cabinet member to quit since Wednesday's events, joining a growing list of White House staff leaving in protest.
And that's all the time we have this evening. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. Don't forget that you can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter to get the latest news updates. Remember to wear your mask when you're going out, and if possible, try to stay home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia.